Hi, I am Andreas. You might know me as Global Warming from various communities. Welcome to another Serenity tutorial. Today I want to talk about using multiple actors, but first let me do a little brief theory section. If all you have is the page object pattern, everything looks like a GUI test. Been there, done that, and struggled a lot, and looked for something better. Thus discovering the screenplay pattern. When you refactor the page object pattern, extracting actions and queries and locators to their dedicated classes, you get something pretty close to the screenplay pattern. What you end up is not describing pages anymore, but systems, interfaces, and interactions. Actors performing tasks with intention. You will gain maintainability by having a stable and readable set of intentions. Pages and even devices might change, but the intention to sign up for a service stays the same. And isn't it great how tasks and questions directly relate to a system's controllability and observability? The screenplay pattern pleases system thinkers as they realize this pattern isn't limited to browser automation. You can describe any system's interactions in a machine executable way, at least if you limit yourself to deterministic and linear storytelling. Suddenly, I was now able to describe and check functionality much closer to the business logic. So let's tell a story. In the last episode, I gave you a minimal example of a single actor performing a few steps and checking the correct outcome. But there's rarely only one single actor involved. Users sign up, admins have to check things, backends have to send confirmation emails, infrastructure has to scale, databases have to be synced. So having a way to describe multiple actors is pretty important. I'll show you my coding now. It's heavily sped up, so you don't have to struggle through 30 minutes of me making typos. You can pause or just check the GitHub repository for this video, link in the description. So imagine a developer who wants to deploy a new application, and in this imaginary setting, the company has a dedicated ops team which handles these infrastructure things. So the dev has to request a server from the ops team. Doesn't really matter how they do it, via email or just send a Slack message or open a Jira issue. What matters is they have the ability to request infrastructure services. The ops team may, for example, have a Kanban board where they see the incoming requests. So when the ops team checks the list of open issues, they should be able to see the issue from our developer. They also have the ability to provide, to fulfill this request and provide infrastructure, either via browser UI or command line tool or automated infrastructure as code in CI/CD pipelines. They should be able to fulfill this request somehow, and setting up a server and closing the ticket with done, yeah, your server is at intra3.example.com. So the developer would maybe receive a notification via email, deploy the application, and see that intra3.example.com/index.html returns something valid. They could check the browser, or they could use curl or use any other library that does HTTP requests. And yeah, this could be your living documentation, how your process for providing infrastructure looks like. I didn't really implement anything. That depends on your context and on your level of detail. Let's quickly fix the report steps. When dealing with multiple actors, you need to set a property to include the actor name and the consequences, so you know in the then part who this then applies to. And if you have parameters, you want to instrument this class to show them. So you now got your framework to document and actually automate your workflow. So instead of the developer having to send a request to the ops team, they could just trigger a CI job that goes through the whole script or just parts of it. And if you just want to provide documentation, create performables, readable and meaningful, that do exactly tell the people how they do stuff. So Jill needs, for example, to send an email to devops@yourcompany.com. Hector checks the Jira board number 17 for incoming issues, and so on. So model your workflow, automate the boring stuff. That's it for now. Let me know what you think and suggest further topics. So long, stay safe, have fun, see you later.